Well, good morning, Rich. How are you today?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, Lisa. How are you?
Yes, it is. Well, I'm Lisa Ryan from the Employee Retention Summit for Manufacturers here with my friend, Rich Bontrager. And we're doing something today that so many people have gotten really used to doing for the last, 7 months or so. And that is the virtual program. We're just not getting as used to being in live events, and we probably are not going to see those around for a while. And then when they do come back, it's probably going to be some kind of, hybrid or whatever. So, Rich, you're an expert at that. And I know that for the people that are struggling, trying to figure out how to do their very best in these types of Zoom meetings and webinars and GoToWebinar and all that kind of stuff, what should they do?
First of all, you got to have fun. Okay. If I'm not doing anything, Lisa, I'm not having fun. So you have to have fun. And that's one of the biggest things is when lockdown first hit, shutdown first hit, everyone jumped in the box and they got really stiff. And they got like, okay, this is a tiny little box. I have no idea what I'm doing. And all their fears exuded out of them. Man, you got to loosen up. You got to have fun. This is just as exciting as the physical stage. The virtual stage is just as big, just as fun, just as impactful. And I don't know about you, but when I'm on stage, I have a blast. I have a great time with the crowd. So I don't know why we get tense. So the first thing, just have fun with this.
Yeah.
Everyone's learning. You and I are learning. Everyone's learning. Even though I've been doing this for a while, everyone is learning. Every broadcast, every replay, every upload, you are learning constantly. So just admit that you're learning and have fun with it.
Yeah. And one of the things too, it's like I've almost had to try to visualize the audience when I'm doing it.
Yes.
Because, I'm trying to make contact with the camera and still have a conversation. And then, one of the things of you're staring at a lot of black boxes with white names in them. So one of the things that we can do for each other and when we're attending a program is just to come off camera, people,
Right. Please.
It's a lot more fun, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Please turn on the camera, engage in this. And again, you're right. The roar of the crowd, the energy of the crowd was something we all did. Part of it is I tell people, this is a mind switch. You have to have a creative mind. You have to imagine there's a room full of people now. You and I are both probably in a room alone. You have to think there's a large crowd. You have to play to the crowd. So the more you imagine and play, and the camera disappears after a while, Lisa. That camera doesn't even exist. That's just an object in my room. But I'm really playing to the crowd and playing to the people watching right now with us.
Right. Because I'm thinking about it. Sometimes we're so afraid. I know at the beginning of all of this, I only got on Zoom when it was like perfect hair, perfect makeup, all of this kind of stuff. Now I'm probably a little embarrassed by the way I show up, not for my speaking engagements, but Zooming. Hey, I just got done from the gym. Or, I used to try to lock my cat Tinkerbell out and not have her come into the programs. And I think that the virtual universe has made us a little bit more human because now we're seeing people's pets and we're hearing people's kids. And, I think that's part of just having fun, like let it go.
Well, don't get me singing now. Please don't get me singing. You don't want the Disney song. But that's actually one of the unique things that we have found. People thought this would be sterile, that the glass would really make it sterile. Instead, we found the intimacy. We found that there are no back seats, as I tell people. Everyone's front row. When you go live on stage, everyone's in the back, the middle, the side. Everyone's front and center. And the engagement, the personal side, has been the amazing part of this. You're right. The dog, the cat, the laundry sometimes. Now, again, we want to look professional, be professional when you do like one of your summits like we're going to be doing. You want it to be slick and polished professional, but at the same time, you also want the natural you to come through.
Right.
Please do not be a robot. Do not be so staged and so scripted. The real you does not come through. Now, the cat, the dog barking in the background may not be the coolest thing for a live summit, but yeah, there are other times it is very cool to do it.
Right. Well, and I think that you bring up a good point with the background, of remember that even though people can see you, they can also see that mess behind you. So I know recently I saw a cartoon and it was a guy in an office and like everything is like against this wall, like all the crap on one wall, and then he's got this nice, clean, sterile office, which is kind of what mine looks like. But you would never know that because we don't want it to be distracting. We do want the focus to be on us.
Everything on that side of the camera does not matter.
Exactly.
And yes, everyone's rearranging offices. I have seen so many amazing. Now, I have also seen laundry. I have seen people's closets wide open. You get their full attire in the background.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen pictures sometimes that they maybe did not want on camera, and you send them a text message privately. But people have learned. Now, I use a green screen right now with what we're streaming. It doesn't like my background. So hopefully when we go live coming on up, when we do our big event, this will be fixed. But I like green screens because then it doesn't matter where you're at.
Right.
You've created an environment that communicates what you want to communicate, and creating that is part of the magic and illusion of TV. And by the way, Lisa, everyone's a broadcaster now.
Right.
I don't care what your profession you are. You are now a broadcaster. I've been a broadcaster for 30 years. Welcome to the broadcasting family.
Well, and I think too, it's important to just kind of know what's going on in your background. I mean, we've heard all kinds of, Zoom stories and Zoom fails and all this kind of stuff. I haven't had a whole lot of them, but I was on a group, attending a group workshop for the weekend. And the one gentleman was in his, I don't know if it was his kitchen, but there was a half bathroom in the background. And he didn't quite realize that his 3-year-old son kept using it and didn't quite, lock the door, or even close the door for that matter.
Yes.
So even though that's cute and everything, that's probably not something that you want to have on. Or else my new favorite commercial, and I hate to give it a plug for Folgers, but the one commercial where the camera is like down too low and the guy's got like a suit jacket and tie on, and
yes.
his boxers and his knee-high socks.
See, but broadcasters have really been doing that for years.
Okay.
We have been in studio looking like that. You do not realize how true that is, but how funny that is. But that's what most people are doing. Now, that's one of the benefits of the new virtual office, the new virtual home. People are finding this much more liberating and much more freeing. But again, you do have to show up.
Right.
You do need to show up, be professional, do your part. That's one of the reasons that we're doing this summit, is to talk about the employee retention. How do you get them to stick around? How do you get them to better engage? Because no one was trained for this.
Right.
I haven't talked to a single person, Lisa, that has been trained to do this long term. And right now, like you teased at the beginning, we're probably going into 2021, probably the first half of the year, mostly virtual.
Right.
And even after that, the hybrid will be here. I guarantee we're not going back to everyone around the water cooler anymore. It's just not going to be the same.
Right. Well, and even with remote employees, just that thing that we talked about a little bit ago about just coming on camera and encouraging your employees to come on camera. We want to consider the source. Like, this is more of a professional interview, so I'm not going to come hair in a ponytail back from the gym. But if I'm a manager and I'm just having a, hey, quick check-in meeting with my people, make it okay to show up in a t-shirt and yoga pants. And none of us can see our yoga pants anyway, but just making it so that we can be, more real, more authentic on there. Because, you might be thinking, well, what does virtual presenting have to do with employee retention? And it really has a lot to do with it, because everything you're doing now is setting the precedent for whether your employees are going to stay with you, whenever we get to those two magical words, post-COVID. So it's really, mastering that now and building those connections with employees.
So that's why I focus on the CEOs, the executives, the showrunners for your businesses. You need to set that vibe. You need to set the level that you want. What is the professional meeting? What is the Friday casual? Let's get together and share your favorite drink. Remember how we used to do theme parties on Fridays, dress down days, different theme parties?
Right.
You can do that virtual. You can literally do a virtual theme party and change it up. So there's so much of the old that you can do here, but I think it's on the leader. I think it's on the executive. I think the team leads need to figure out how to steer your ship virtually. And then it's going to be a lot more fun. People will turn their camera on.
Right.
But
Exactly.
you have to lead the charge, and that's where I spend most of my time, is trying to get them to understand what you do on camera, how you do it on camera, sets the vibe for everybody else. So if you don't turn your camera on as a top leader, why does the rest of the team want to turn on the camera?
Exactly. Exactly. Well, the Employee Retention Summit for manufacturers is coming up November 9th to the 11th. You'll have plenty of opportunities. Now, we did pre-record the interviews because I just didn't want to, challenge the tech gods there with 25 live interviews. But the cool thing about it is that, like, when Rich's session, his interview is playing, which was amazing, by the way, Rich is going to be in the live chat. So instead of waiting for Rich to get off stage like you do at live performances, you can actually talk to him the whole time, and you know what? He can talk back.
Yeah.
So we tried to incorporate as much of that, that live feeling and still giving you the information. But there's so much more. Like I said, a rock star lineup of 25 experts. You're going to see over 3 days. I'm going to put the link in the comments below, but make sure that you sign up today and join us for the Employee Retention Summit for Manufacturers. Share it with your friends. Get that out there, because this is the information that you need when we do get to that time of post-COVID, so that you can keep your top talent from becoming someone else's. Rich, I am so excited to have you as part of the summit, and we'll be a week and a half from today. So
I promise it will not be boring, Lisa. Everyone come, get ready. This is going to be a great, rocking good couple of days.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Rich. Signing off, and we will see you tomorrow with another featured expert.